The scene just moments ago in City Park in Kingston, Ontario. We have been watching that location live all morning long. The statue of Sir John A. Macdonald, Canada's first Prime Minister, has now come down in his hometown. And you can hear in the background the sound, the cheers that produced. Now, the job itself took longer than expected. It was a very solid statue. Workers had to bring in extra heavy machinery. They're going to store it temporarily and then relocate it to the Cataraqui Cemetery, where Sir John A. Macdonald is buried. This goes back to a long debate. They've had a working group on the issue of the legacy of Sir John A. Macdonald in Kingston for some time, but on Wednesday night of this week, City Council voted to move it after a lengthy debate about his role in establishing the residential school system. Travis Danraj has been with us from Kingston all through the morning, has the very latest on the scene there. Travis.
Good morning, Heather, and I can assure you one person that was not cheering when this statue came down was the guest I have with me now. It's Jeff McLaren. He's a city councillor, and he was the one councillor to vote against removing the statue. Councillor, how are you feeling right now, and why did you want to see the statue stay where it was?
I'm feeling right now like we lost an opportunity to come together. When we take away something from some people that want to honor Sir John A. as our first Prime Minister, we're pitting people against people. And I think the opportunity to find a common cause was lost here. And that's not good for equality or equity going forward, or even justice. So I feel like we've lost an opportunity to fix a lot of other substantial and systemic issues. So for example, during the council meeting that we had, we heard from an Indigenous woman who claims that the government is still taking away children in a new modern way. For anybody who's had children, this would bring us together to stop that. And I think that was not asked. I also heard from another Indigenous person who presented at council that there are major problems in the reserves with their water supply. Anybody who's got a tap at home can understand the dread that would happen if they can't get water. This is something that could unite us. And I feel that the ask that we received at council was a symbolic gesture that sacrificed real, meaningful, substantive and systemic changes.
What about though when I was speaking to some Indigenous elders this morning, and one woman said she walked past the statue with her grandson, and it was a source of pain for her and for her grandson, who she had to explain Sir John A. Macdonald's difficult legacy to. What would you say to her and constituents that have that perspective?
I still think that we've lost an opportunity to come together. So yes, people feel pain, some more than others. And in that sense, this was a mistake from the past. But if we're wanting to move forward together with our good minds, it doesn't help if we are antagonizing the majority population against a minority population.
I've got about 30 seconds left here, but what do you think this means for a city that has wrapped itself in Sir John A. Macdonald's name, and his legacy is so attached to the city of Kingston?
I'm fearful for it. There are a lot of people who identify with Sir John A. as our first Prime Minister, who built this country, and who many of us feel that this country is a lot better than a lot of other countries. That's going to be hard for Kingston.
Okay. Jeff McLaren, City Councillor, thank you for your time. Let me just show you what's happening behind me right here. Heather, the statue is down. It is going to be put into a warehouse. And then the plan right now is to move it to that burial site that you were talking about, but debate on that continues. It's back to you.
12-1 was the vote on Wednesday night, and thank you, Travis, as you bring us the lone dissenting vote. And again, as we look at this again, just to bring you up to date, I was mentioning there is what is called the History and Legacy of Sir John A. Macdonald Working Group in Kingston, looking at this issue for some time. Its efforts have been very much focused of late because of the discovery on that former residential school site in Kamloops, BC, of potentially 215 children's remains. So certainly on Wednesday, the debate over the positive legacy for Confederation versus the harms that he inflicted through the residential school system as an architect of that. That continues at the city council level. Interestingly as well, also on Wednesday night, the district school board changed the name of what had been École Sir John A. Macdonald Public School. It is now École Kingston East Elementary School in the interim as they work toward another name. So this is ongoing in Kingston, and we'll continue to follow the story for you today, not just in Kingston. These are debates and discussions going on across the country at this time.